Hey, here's an old National Geographic from July 1971. Isn't that neat? This is about Apollo 14. Look at that right there. It's kind of interesting. Right there on page 136 is a pullout. As an expert in photographic analysis, I can tell you that picture's actually impossible. As Forrest Gump would say, that's all I got to say about that. Right there on page 136. Interesting. Now, how are you doing this evening? Yeah? The world is upside down. Like big time upside down. Good is bad, right is wrong, dark is light, light is dark. Stand fast. If you give an inch, they'll take a mile. There's an old saying that said the only thing it requires for evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing. A lot of people are complicit with tyranny, and they really are. This video's not about tyranny. This is a list of lies. They're not in any particular order. Yeah? In case you didn't know, on the currencies, the Fed is not actually federal at all. It's a private bank. The people that actually print that paper money that's made out of cotton rag, yeah, the Fed isn't federal. The IRS is a total scam. I mean, it just is a scam. It's a scam to rob humanity of the stuff for the sweat of their own brow, as your grandfather would actually say. All taxes are actually not used to, most all taxes are not used to pay for anything, because the government does nothing well, other than, unfortunately, end the lives of lots of people. Not only of people around the world, but of course of their own citizens, because they don't care about you. If you get sick with cancer and curl up and die, they'll replace you in a heartbeat. They don't give a damn about you. It still doesn't care about you. You're serving a soulless entity, a horrific pyramid scheme of totalitarian despotry, which is exactly what it is. But credit cards are slavery. They will tell you it's, well, you got to have a credit card to rent a car and do. I don't even have a credit card anymore. I haven't had one for years. Credit cards are slavery. The banks that give out mortgage, the term mortgage means a death grip. It's becoming harder and harder and harder now for anybody to own a home. The term useful idiot. That's a great term everybody should use and accurately apply it. A useful idiot. It's a pawn in the chess game. It's like, well, I'm going to sacrifice this pawn to get the queen of the opposite player. I'm going to send the pawns first. Well, these useful idiots are working against their own interest. Every country on earth that's banned, I'm going to call them tools for defense, has fallen into tyranny. Pol Pot, Schicklgruber, I'll let you figure out who Schicklgruber is. I don't want to say that person's name. Australia, recently Canada, Fidel Castro, Mao Zedong, Stalin, Gaddafi, Idi Amin, on and on and on and on and on. History repeats itself over and over and over and over and over and over again. And with that, I need to follow with this statement. All governments want you declawed and neutered. They want you fighting with your neighbor, and your neighbor fighting with you, and all these different entities. They pit neighbor against neighbor. And they have to keep all of us divided against each other. This group against that group, and stigmatizing people. Anyway, every government wants you and me declawed and neutered, literally. And the other thing they want to do, you should remember this phrase, they want to treat you like a mushroom. You know how you take care of a mushroom? You feed it poop and you keep it in the dark. Every government on earth treats you, and me, and everybody else like a mushroom. Feed it crap and keep it in the dark. Feed it crap, keep it in the dark. People go home, they work hard. They turn on the idiot box, this thing is the idiot box, and they get brainwashed by lying propagandists. Don't listen to them. No job, once again, it's kind of an extension of what I mentioned just about 10 minutes ago. No job cares about you in any way, shape, or form. It does not, and especially not the government. You ever had to go to the DMV? Every government is extremely inefficient unless it comes to harming people. That's about all. Spending money and harming people is a statement of fact that actually affects our lives. There's a whole lot of shady stuff going on. I'm going to be very PC when I say there's a lot of shady stuff going on, and it's designed to feed the MIC, the military-industrial complex, and to feed a proxy war. It does not care about that country. The United States government does not. Every time you see these politicians vociferously say how much they're crying for the country and whatnot, they're not. They're getting kickbacks, and they're being paid for by the MIC, military-industrial complex, to feed the beast. I'm about 1,000% certain that we left behind a lot of heavy military hardware when we extremely quickly exited Afghanistan, due to the fact that that would actually feed a future conflict that would cause us to go hot and heavy back into that part of the world, which would have to be fed with the military hardware from, once again, the MIC. That's just planting a seed for a future conflict. Anybody with 2 brain cells can actually see that. You could disagree all you want. The mirage that these people that think they have control over us is a total lie. It's a total hologram. Schools are 100% a scam designed to indoctrinate the minds, to be worker bees. They do not teach you how to critically think. The last thing they want are critical thinkers. Every school out there is a scam, even the really expensive ones. Don't teach you how to think. It's actually above ridiculous, which is called redonkulous. You can look that up in the dictionary. Here's what they're lying to you about, and other people have actually said this. Now, this one's kind of tough to say. I kind of have to dance around it. But, the garbage, the lockdown trash that's been going on for the past few years, of course, is not going on now, was designed to do one thing and one thing only. They say, hey, designed to keep you safe. Right, okay. I'm not going to contest that doxa or opinion, but I'm going to say it was actually designed to destroy the middle class. Small businesses, the middle class, were destroyed. This is indisputable, by the way, what I'm about to say. Countless small businesses were destroyed, i.e. middle class, while Walmart and Amazon and Whole Foods, which is owned by Amazon, and big entities like that stayed open. Yeah, and they had record profits too. And, geez, why were they open? Would it have something to do with possibly them, like, lining the pockets of people in power? Could. The quickest way to destroy society, by the way, is to nuke the middle class. And that's going on right now. It's going on right now. So, if you think with the mindset of somebody, a single entity, or a group of entities that are just flat out evil, what these are designed to do, and they're good for that. Lithium cars. Just squirting around the city, get groceries, go get my hair done. Not that I have any hair. Designed to keep you within the 15-minute cities. They're pushing this lithium stuff, which is extremely toxic, extremely low efficiency. There's not enough lithium in this earth to power what they're actually planning on doing. But with a smaller population and 15-minute cities, it's perfect. So you have to put yourself in the mindset of pure evil. Pure evil would be, like, I think we know who we're talking. You would eat the bugs! You will own nothing and be happy! Jawohl! Wait a minute, I gotta do it this way. Hold on a second. People like it when I do this. Yeah, you will eat the bugs. You would live in a 15-minute city. You will own nothing and be happy! Jawohl! Sorry, that's actually not funny. But it is. I do have a good sense of humor. So it's perfect if you actually stick your head in the mindset of these evil entities. Lithium is the most dirty power, far, far, far more so than nuclear is. Because of Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island and some other stuff. Like, nuclear is so dangerous. And then Fukushima. Fukushima only collapsed. Didn't collapse, but I mean, it went bad and leaking and yada yada. We all know what Fukushima is because they didn't have backup power supply. They said if they were planning on adding that, but that's a long story. Here's one. When I grew up, and they say heart disease is caused by, I know I'm out of shape, okay? Heart disease is caused by saturated fats in the diet, and it suggested that saturated fats or unsaturated fats are healthier. I could be wrong in this, but I'm pretty sure I'm 100% right. People have been cooking with saturated fat, lard, and butter, since your great-grandfather and your grandfather and your great-great-great-great-grandfather. We've shifted from saturated fats to unsaturated, and it completely coincides with an uptick in heart disease. Vegetable oil, corn oil, and all these other stupid synthetic oils, which really should be going in your car instead of your mouth. Your engine should be running off that lubrication, not your body. It feels like we're being given, doesn't feel like, I know we are, given misinformation in order to make us sick so that certain people can become profitable. And if you're sick, you're going to die early, which, is perfect. Because, once you reached about 50 years old, you've outlived your usefulness to big corporation, and then they want you to get sick because that feeds another industry, which is the big pharma and medical industry, which they're not about. If you think hospitals are about making you better, man, that's a big lie. They're about making you sick and keeping you on pills, which feeds big pharma. Giving us lots of misinformation. I'm sorry. You're not going to drop dead tomorrow. Obviously, I'm fat and out of shape, but I do not buy this garbage that vegetable oils are good for you. And I don't use lard. I haven't seen anybody except my grandmother, who use lard. I haven't seen anybody buy lard in forever. Maybe certain parts of the world they buy lard, but, I use the crap out of butter, and I just don't buy it. I think it's a hardcore lie. All of history is a lie. Everything they taught us about history is a lie. They teach us that ancient Egyptians didn't have the wheel. I've seen a bunch of history channels growing up, talk about, they didn't have the wheel in ancient Egypt. What are you talking about? You see the chariot wheels on the Pharaoh's chariot? Well, what the hell was that? A square, a rectangle? Of course they had the wheel. When human beings were first able to scratch their butt, we had wheels. Since time, all of history really is just a disgusting lie. It's just a lie. Everything you're taught in school about history is such a lie. Like Einstein was a genius when he wasn't. Everything that Einstein wrote, 99% of it was stolen from the guy called, look him up, Henri Poincaré. You got 2 pages about Einstein, you have a half a paragraph about Tesla. That tells you basically all you need to know. All history is a lie. Everything we're told about history is a lie. Most of the things they say that are good for us are not good for us, and the things they say, well, there was years for eggs are bad for you, and now eggs are good for you. You ever seen you seen the new food pyramid? It's ridiculous. They got recommendation of Cheerios and Lucky Charms. It was ridiculous. Here's one, and I heard from somebody else. I wish I came up with it. If they didn't have this food or something you eat 150 years ago, you shouldn't eat it. In other words, whatever it is you plan on sticking in your mouth, if it didn't exist 150 years ago, like Gatorade, margarine, and do you know they created margarine as a cheap alternative to feed the pigs, and even the pigs wouldn't eat it? Isn't that neat? All actors are paid liars. Bought and sold, paid for. Yet everybody idealizes actors. They don't care anything about anybody with wisdom. It doesn't have to be me. It can be anybody. We care about paid liars. All actors are paid liars. They are professional paid liars. Is there anything about that that's incorrect? It's all 100% incorrect. 100% correct, excuse me. The USA, by the way, is not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. They've actually been repeating this to us and getting us to believe it. Healthcare isn't healthy, and they don't care. Think about that one really quickly. That's a really good one. Someone else told me that, and it's kind of brilliant. Healthcare! One word. Healthcare is both not healthy And the people that are in the business of healthcare don't care. Healthcare isn't healthy, and they don't care. Brilliant! Absolutely love it. Isn't that brilliant? People work too darn hard to watch after their kids, so the government brainwashes their kids. We will take care of your kids. You can go to work and, brainwash their kids and indoctrinate them to have future podlings and slaves. One thing the government does not want is people that can think for themselves. They want you to have enough skills to build widgets and do garbage, but they want podlings as a reference to the Dark Crystal. Podlings are like these brainless zombies. They just got glazed over eyes, and they wander around doing menial chores, and they can't see any further than about this far in front of them. Government fears people who think for themselves, and also two people that congregate together. If they got 30 people or more together, the government wants to infiltrate it or stick a bug in the middle of it. You think that's funny, but it's not. It's serious. If there are more than 30 men, no offense against the women, more than 30 men that get together, the government one way or another is going to stick a bug in the middle of it or stick a plant in there. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Agent Jones here. Testing. Is this thing on? Very, very true. Government fears people think for themselves and who teach their own children. Homeschool. Hardcore fact. Here's one from Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky, по-русски языка. I say it in Russian. Tolerance will reach such a level that intelligent people will be banned from thinking, and so as not to offend the imbeciles. Let me do that again. It's really brilliant. Tolerance will reach such a level. Tolerance will reach such a level that intelligent people will be banned from thinking so as not to offend the imbeciles. Brilliant. По-русски языка. I don't say it in Russian. No one's going to understand me except for like 2 Russian watchers. Here's the big lie. Hello, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. There's the biggest lie maybe that ever was. Big lie. Here to help you. I'm from the government. After one pays taxes for 35 to 40 years, they don't care about you and they want you dead, so they don't have to pay you what you've been paid in, like your 401k. Like when you get your check and you see a big chunk of it missing for Social Security. You're paying your Social Security for your retirement. Well, what's an evil way around that? Yes, what if we have most people paying to Social Security, but before they reach the age to collect on Social Security, we make them so sick they die? Brilliant! That's not funny, actually. That's true. Here's a big lie. The world is real and the spirit world is fake and unreal. That's completely backwards. Totally fake. Here's my motto that I came up with ages and ages ago. Nothing true is popular and nothing popular is true. Did you know, since I translate many languages, like ancient Pali, the word for popular, patujana, is the exact same word for profane, blasphemous, awful, wicked. The same word for popular is the exact same word for profane. Like, that's profane, grotesque, an affront to natural order. It'd be kind of like, taking a Virgin Mary statue and turning it upside down and covering it with all sorts of filthiness. That's profane. The word for profane and the word for popular are the exact same word, in several different languages, by the way. That word in ancient Pali is patujana. Sounds like you're spitting. Patujana! Translated as popular. It's like, no, that word means profane. Humanity is fundamentally sick in the idea in that it wants to kill anybody who can't afford to live. Nobody should have to pay to be alive on this earth. Once you give them birth to and they reach the age of a teenager and you got certain skills to build things and fix things and do things, it's wonderful to have a full life. A life of purpose. But humanity, humanity is fundamentally sick in the head, on top of the fact that everybody's living in a nutshell, sniffing their own farts, living in a fantasy world of lies, rubbish, and nonsense. Everything today is upside down and backwards. Good is bad, bad is good, light is dark, dark is light. Anyway, humanity, unfortunately, is fundamentally sick in that it wants to kill anybody who can't afford to live. And that's just ridiculous. You're not supposed to have to pay to live on this earth. No other animal does that garbage. Yeah. Any donations always warmly welcome. Hope you have a lovely day. I read every comment, and have a lovely week. Lux Veritas. Catch you later, alligator. Thank you so much for watching. Lux Veritas.